Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin here, and welcome back to HIOKI Monthly Facebook Live. The time now is 3:30 p.m., 3:35 p.m. in Singapore, and I'm reporting live in Singapore right now. And today's topic is on maintenance testing of lead-acid batteries using HIOKI battery tester BT3554. Once again, thank you very much for joining us in this session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just to share you that, do you know that HIOKI's battery tester series actually began in 1986 with the release of the AC milliohm high tester 3225. Now, allow me to show you a picture of AC milliohm high tester 3225. And this is how it looks like. All right, and if you were to count since 1986, HIOKI commemorates its 35th anniversary as a strong leader in the battery industry this year. Now, in fact, HIOKI has seen the battery industry through its most critical stage of growth, the development and maturity of the lithium-ion battery, or better known as LIB. Now, LIB production sites of top battery manufacturers have proactively used HIOKI's battery testers, now starting in Japan, and now has been spreading globally from Korea and to China. Now, today HIOKI is trusted around the globe as the world's de facto standard of battery testers production as well as for research and development. Now, apart from lithium-ion batteries, HIOKI battery testers can also be used in the maintenance testing for the lead-acid batteries. Now, ladies and gentlemen, HIOKI portable battery testers can support the maintenance of UPS and storage batteries, critical to the life support of all businesses. Now, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, according to the research in 2011, every minute downtime in a data center will result in a loss approximate of 5,600 USD. That's every minute loss. Wow. All right, so the research also highlighted that about 29% of the downtime was due to system failure because of UPS batteries. 29%. Now, and most shockingly, the UPS related failures proved to be the most costly. Now, because of that, therefore, regular predictive and preventive maintenance is very crucial so as to maximize the performance and reliability of mission-critical equipment, which can prevent chances of downtimes and thus increase productivity and profitability. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to have my colleague here, Mr. Eugene, the Product Marketing Manager, who will be sharing with us more on the maintenance testing of lead-acid batteries using HIOKI battery tester BT3554. Now, allow me to bring him online right now. I believe he's online at the moment. All right, Eugene. Okay, let me bring him online. All right, over to you, Eugene.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, hold on a while, Eugene. Let me bring it online. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, let me just share the screen with you. Okay. Can you see my shared screen? Kevin? Kevin, can you see my shared screen? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. So sorry about that. I think there was some problem with mic system.
Can you see
Yeah.
my share screen?
Yes, we can see your shared screen very good and clear. Let me remove the overlay so that we can see your screen perfectly. Okay. Okay, let me bring you.
All right, good. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of HIOKI Live Facebook sharing. Okay, before we start, I would like to extend my gratitude to all our HIOKI fans who are joining us today. In today's sharing, we would like to introduce about the lead-acid batteries and how our BT3554 is able to judge the degradation of such battery over time. We are also going to introduce Genet Cross, which is a freeware to help increase on your productivity during your battery maintenance routine. Now, in this presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about lead acid battery, just an introduction about lead acid battery. Okay, and then I'll go more into the test and measurement of the BT3554. So without further ado, let's proceed on with this sharing.
Hi, Eugene. I'm back again over here. I think we have a fan from Philippines, Fabel, who says that she can't hear you, although I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, give me a moment. Could you say something again, Fabel? Are you able to hear Eugene? Probably, maybe we need Eugene to raise your voice. Although I can hear you quite loud and clear. Can the rest of you hear Eugene? If you are able to hear Eugene, could you actually comment in the session? Okay, Eugene, can you say something first? Okay, go on. Go.
Hello?
Definitely, I can hear you, but
How about
okay.
not very clear, is it? Okay, I tell you what. Just okay.
Okay, while Eugene is trying to fix his mic, probably just to remind our guests online, remember that our engineers will be answering your questions at the end of the session. So you can actually feel free to drop the comments, drop your questions in the comment session, and we will be very happy to pick up your questions towards the end of the session. I think we have some feedback from our guests over here. Eugene, they mentioned that it's not so clear. The audio is low. Okay.
Is it better now? Is it better? Yeah, it's better, right?
Okay, it's better.
Okay, good.
About the rest. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can
Okay,
see
that's
from we have guests. We can hear you from Manila. Hi, Mabuhay. Okay. So we also have friends saying that could be your mask blocking your handsome face, blocking your voice. Sorry. Okay. So yeah. Okay. I think the rest of them can hear you now. So Eugene, I'll pass over to you to lead today's presentation.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. All right. So today's topic, I'll be talking about the maintenance testing of lead acid batteries using HIOKI battery tester BT3554. Okay, this is the introduction. All right. So first of all, I'll start off with just an introduction about lead acid battery. So in the 1800s, Alexandre Volta, he's a French physicist and chemist. He discovered that certain fluids would generate a continuous flow of electrical power when used as a conductor, and this led to the invention of the first voltaic cell. Okay, so most commonly that is known as what we call batteries. So in 1859, another French physicist, Gaston Planté, he invented the first rechargeable battery based on lead acid, and this system is still used today. So battery basically is a device that stores electric energy and then transforming the chemical energy into electrical energy. So the fact that power generation sources nowadays are not 100% reliable, now this led to business owners adopting to use UPS with battery banks to ensure that no disruptions to their business operation. So as such, battery storage is used and adopted in all sorts of applications, such as energy storage systems. We have data center, portable devices like PMDs, and then electric vehicle, and etc. So these are the places that you can find lead acid batteries. So we have data centers. Okay, we have radio base stations, power stations, solar wind power plants. UPS.
Sorry, Eugene, your slides are not moving. Yeah, just to make sure that you are if you are sharing your slides now, in fact your slides are stagnant. So yeah, just want to.
That's weird.
Mm.
Okay, let me share it again. Okay, let me share it again.
Sure.
That's weird.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure that you are sharing your slides so that because I don't want the audience to miss out something important.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about now? Is it better?
All right, I can see that your slides are coming. Let me bring your slides. Yep.
I'm now in the lead acid.
Okay, Ken.
Can.
If you don't mind, probably you might want to. I'm not too sure how many slides did we actually miss out. You might want to start again because it was actually stagnant from right from the start of the title
Okay,
page.
okay.
Okay, over
Okay,
to you
now
again.
okay, let me see.
Would you be able to move your slides to see whether it's moving?
Yeah, I'm moving it right now. Can you see?
Yeah, no. It's now stagnant on places with lead acid batteries.
How about now?
No, it's still not moving as well.
Okay. Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is very real. I think I mentioned a few times we are doing live session right now. So technical errors is bound to happen. Just to prove to you that we are really going on live, this is not pre-recorded. Okay. No, I don't think there's anything on your screen at the moment.
How about now? I'm moving it.
Yes, it's moving finally. Okay,
Moving?
Ken. Yes,
Okay,
it's
thanks.
working. All right,
Okay,
thanks.
so
Eugene.
sorry.
Awesome to you. No
Okay, I'm so
problem.
sorry. I'm so sorry for that. Yeah.
It's more important that the guests are able to see your slides. All right.
Okay.
Okay, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So just now I was just talking a little bit about why we need to use batteries. Okay, because batteries are used because power generation sources are not 100% reliable. So that's the reason why business owners are adopting to use UPS with battery banks to make sure there's no disruption to their business operations. Okay, so for battery storage, right, it can be adopted in various types of applications such as ESS, data centers, portable devices, and electric vehicles. So these are the places that you can find lead acid batteries. Okay, in this chart showing the different types of batteries, comparing the specific power versus the specific energy. From left to right, you have a supercapacitor, lead acid, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydrate, lithium ion, sodium nickel chloride, and lithium metal polymer. Now, just talk a little bit about some of the batteries. Okay. Now, supercapacitors on the left here, the most left here, supercapacitors can operate for a long period, up to 20 years. It has the ability to handle high current value, is high efficiency, has a wide voltage range, wide temperature range, and long operating cycles, ease of maintenance. Now, the drawback is that the oldest rechargeable battery systems. Now, lead acid is rugged, is economically priced, it has a low specific energy and limited cycle count. Lead acid is used for wheelchairs, for golf cars, emergency lightings, and UPS. However, lead is toxic, so it cannot be disposed in landfill. Okay, next we have nickel cadmium. It's used where long service life is required. It has high discharge current. Extreme temperatures are required. This is the most rugged and enduring battery. Now, the main applications are basically power tools, medical devices, and UPS. All right, then we have nickel metal hydrate, which serves as a replacement for nickel cadmium, as it has only mild toxic metals and provides higher specific energy. Okay, it's used for medical instruments, for hybrid cars, for industrial application. Now, it's also available in AA and AAA cells batteries for consumer usage. And then we have sodium nickel chloride. It has a long cycle life, 15 years or more, higher specific energy, it's maintenance free, high recyclable of the raw materials, and zero emissions. So the main application is basically for electric vehicles, hybrid electric vehicles, and distributed renewable generators and grid support. So last, we have the lithium ion, which is which can replace many applications that were previously served by lead and nickel-based batteries. Now, due to the safety concern, lithium ion needs a protection circuit. Okay, it's more expensive than most other batteries, but the high cycle count and the low maintenance reduce the cost per cycle over many other chemistries. So today we'll just talk about lead acid battery. Okay, so lead acid battery, if you consider cell voltage, right, is about 2 volts. Okay, but it's able to deliver hundreds of current ampere. So it can deliver very high current. Okay, and then also lead is abundant and cheap. Okay, and it's mostly widely used for rechargeable battery. And don't forget that lead acid battery is also recyclable. Okay, very recyclable. So you can use it for second applications. Okay, so now I shall talk about the operation and types. Okay, so for lead acid, right, we have two types. First is the vented type, and the second type is the valve regulated lead acid. Now, I shall talk about VLA first. Vented lead acid battery is also referred to as the wet or flooded battery. Okay, where you have a liquid electrolyte or a vented cells where the gases produced through overcharging are vented directly to the atmosphere. So that's the reason why it's called vented. Now, these type of batteries are usually installed on open racks in dedicated battery rooms that have dedicated ventilation system. So you must have ventilation for such battery because it emits out toxic gases. Okay. Now, the two versions of VLA types where the flooded batteries lose water can be replenished by refilling with water. Okay. The second type does not need refilling due to the use of calcium plates to improve on the resistance to corrosion. So no excessive gassing also, and less water usage and lower self-discharge for the second type of VLA batteries. Now, the VRLA, or the valve-regulated lead acids, are commonly known as sealed lead acid battery. Now, this type of batteries tends to not to sulfide or degrade as easily as the wet cells, the VLA types. And they are regarded the safest lead acid battery to use. Now, there are two main versions. The first is the AGM, or the absorbed gas mat. And the second one is the gel cell, or the jellified electrolyte. Okay, that's the second one. Now, when we talk about VLA, right, so there are three versions to VLA. The first is the SLI, that is commonly used in automotive. Now, SLI stands for starting, lighting, ignition. Okay, this kind of battery is economical and provide a good level of current at low cost, but it has a short life cycle. The discharge depth is not as great, not greater than 10 to 20%. Now, the second type of VLA is what we call the traction battery, and these are mainly used in heavy industrial electrical applications such as forklift, trucks, electrical tractors, large industrial cleaning machine. Okay, these are designed for applications where deep discharge occurs. Now, the third type is called the stationary batteries, and this is used in switchgear substation, power generation, microwave relay sites, telecommunication, solar PV, oil and gas. Okay, they have a long useful life and very low maintenance is required for such batteries. So I will mention again on the two versions of VLA types where the flooded battery lost water can be replenished by refilling with water, right? Now, the second type does not need any refilling due to the use of calcium plates to improve the resistance to corrosion. Okay, this is what I mentioned previously. Now, the next one is called the valve-regulated lead acid, or what we call the VRLA. Okay, this is commonly known as sealed lead acid type. Okay, this will emit gas during charging, but because the VRLA incorporates a mechanism in which the gas is made to react with the battery negative electrode, and then it converts the gas back into water. Okay, because it is sealed, right? The water cannot evaporate, so it's contained inside there. Okay, that's what makes it safe. Now, based on the two types, we have the AGM and the gel type. Okay, the AGM batteries features a fiberglass mesh between the battery plates, which serves to contain the electrolyte and separates the plates. So it has a better self-discharge characteristic over the temperature range. Now, the gel battery use the jellified electrolyte, where the sulfuric acid is mixed with the fumed silica, which makes the resulting mesh gels like a gel-like and immobile. Now, the gel battery reduces the electrolyte evaporation, spillage, and this will lead to less corrosion problems, okay? Which is very common for the wet cell battery. And this will boost the greater resistance to shocks and vibration. So due to the construction, the gel and AGM type of VRLA can be mounted in any orientation and do not require constant maintenance. So you can put sideways, upright, but not upside down. Okay, you cannot put it upside down. So then I'll talk about the degradation. Now, all batteries are affected by self-discharge. Okay, it is permanent and cannot be reversed. So self-discharge increases with age, number of cycles, and elevated temperature. Okay, lead acid has a high self-discharge rate of about 0.5% to 1% per day. Now, there are three ways of self-discharge which can happen to a lead acid battery. The first is H2O electrolysis, which occur due to potential difference between the positive and negative electrode. And this will cause a power consumption and voltage drop. Now, potential difference in the water decompose into hydrogen and oxygen, right? Now, the second type is the electrode and electrolyte and electrode reaction, whereby sulfuric acid in the electrolyte reacts easily with the metal in the electrode, causing voltage drop. Okay, that's for the second one. Now, the third one is due to impurities, where the ions in the water oxidize more easily than lead, okay, reacting with the electrode, especially for those ions, leading to a drop in performance. Now, it is necessary to replace with purified water to replace to reduce the impurities. Okay, next. So for chemical degradation, it actually produces irreversible reactions that cause the battery to gradually degrade. The discharge causes the lead in the electrode to become lead sulfate. Okay, but when this happens, right, it develops a stable crystal structure over time, what we call sulfation. Now, since lead sulfide becomes less conductive once it crystallizes, it will not revert to lead, even if the battery is charged. When lead sulfide crystals adhere to the surface of the negative electrode, the reaction area becomes the electrode and the electrolyte decreases, causing the internal resistance of the battery to increase. Also, the concentration of the electrolyte decreases, causing a voltage drop. Now, the fall of active material, basically the lead dioxide and the positive knots, is packed in pores of a grid. So loading and unloading deforms the grid. So the battery capacity decreases as the material will not return to its original state. Then come to maintenance. So why do we need to test and carry out maintenance routine for lead acid backup batteries? Now, if the current status of these backup batteries in major installations are unknown, then we will not know if the backup system is reliable, right? So if you want to avoid any unforeseen power failure or stoppages, then it is important to test out to ensure that the backup is reliable. Now, another good reason to test the battery is that companies will face capital loss if batteries are replaced sooner than necessary. So it's important to test these batteries to determine which batteries need to be replaced. So that's the reason why we measure the batteries. Companies need to know what to do in order to extend the battery life, and then need to find the optimal replacement time. So to keep the lead acid battery in good condition, they apply a fully saturated charge lasting 14 to 16 hours. If the charge cycle does not allow this, then give the battery a fully saturated charge once every few weeks. If at all possible, operate at moderate temperature and avoid deep discharge. So charge as often as you can. Okay, that's one way to extend on the useful life of the battery. Now, when it comes to capacity test, right, this is what we call like a DCIR test. So this is one way to analyze the health indication of a battery. Now, the traditional charge, discharge, and charge cycle is still the most dependable method to measure battery capacity. But the entire process can take up to 4 days, which is very time consuming, and the whole process is very expensive. Okay, so for the IEEEs, they specify the frequency, but generally every certain period of years, let's say 3 to 5 years, is a good span for the battery life. Okay, so then we have ACIR testing to test on the internal resistance of batteries to judge the health state with reference to the manufacturer specs. So naturally, as the number of charge and discharge cycles increases, like so, right? Then the battery internal resistance will increase, okay, which causes the discharge capacity to decrease. Now, the internal resistance varies based on three factors. The first is the ohmic resistance, which is the resistance of electron conductors or the magnetic resistance, such as electrode grids and terminals. This increases when there is corrosions on the grid. The second type is called what we say the reaction resistance. Now, this manifests itself in the reaction between the active material and the electrolyte. And then the last one is called the diffusion resistance, where the charge transfer resistance is caused by too many or too few ions relative to the requirements of the battery reaction. Now, if the battery reaction progresses faster than diffusion can supply the ions, then there will be a shortage of ions near the electrode, so preventing the reaction. So when it comes to ACIR, there are two types. The first is the conductance method, and second type is the impedance method. Now, conductance method is basically what we say, what we call like inversing the resistance. Okay, as the name suggests, the lower the resistance, the better is the conductance, or the ability to allow electricity to flow through the battery. Okay, so that's the meaning of conductance. Now, for this test, it is done during the discharge cycle under a controlled discharge current. Now, this discharge current is normally very high. Okay, the conductance is calculated from the resulting changes in voltage, and this is done with the load disconnected. The drawback of such a testing method is that it is unmeasurable during charging. Okay, that's the only drawback. But other than that, it's still using Ohm's law to calculate on the resistance, but it's inversing the resistance to get the conductance. Okay, next we have what we call the impedance method. Now, HIOKI battery testers are using impedance method. Okay, and still same thing, we are still applying Ohm's law to it. Now, when it comes to impedance method, this test is conducted during charge and discharge, and also when the batteries are connected to the load. Okay, so again, for this testing method, it's very straightforward. We are applying a 1 kilohertz AC signal, injecting into the battery, and then the voltmeter will measure the voltage across it, and applying Ohm's law, R equals to V divided by I, to give the internal resistance while the load is connected. So it's important to note that this method is applicable during charge and discharge, and also when the load is connected. So most battery testers are using the impedance method right now. So if you ask, why do we need to inject a 1 kilohertz AC test signal? Okay, now, and why are we not using DC signal in that sense? Okay, because if you use DC, right, you can use a normal digital multimeter. Now, this is because using a 1 kilohertz AC signal, right, will excite the battery and allow the resistance to be measured. Now, if you're using DC signal, then the inherent electromotive force prevents correct measurements of resistance. And that is why, to eliminate this EMF effect, we have to use a AC 1 kilohertz signal. So through our research, we conducted that it is more practical and efficient to measure at 1 kilohertz because it is used for many AC low resistance meter, which are used in battery production line. In addition, the measurement current is low enough to avoid any kind of chemical reaction with the battery, yet high enough to withstand toughness against the noise that's applied to the charging signal. So what is the HIOKI solution for this? So amongst the HIOKI battery tester, we have basically three solutions for the battery industries. It's quite clear when it comes to maintenance, our portable BT3554 will be the most suitable because we have a battery that's installed and you can bring it around. Now, when it comes to production, okay, we have the 3561, which is for notebook and battery pack. Now, the BT3562 over here can be used for electric motorbikes, electric tools, batteries, and the voltage is up to 60 volts. Now, for the BT3563, okay, this is used for hybrid electric vehicles. And for the BT3564, this is used for pure electric vehicles. Okay, when it comes to for R&D application, we have the BT4560 and the IM3590. For the BT4560, it's able to inject high and low frequency. And all these battery testers are using impedance method to calculate the internal resistance. But for this presentation, I'm just going to focus on the maintenance sector for using, they are using the BT3554. So the BT3554 supports the maintenance of UPS and storage batteries, critical to the redundancy support of all businesses. The battery internal resistance tester sets the standards for assessing the deterioration and the remaining life of UPS batteries and other lead-acid batteries by giving a complete diagnosis. The BT3554 includes everything that you need for your maintenance task. So I'm going to explain the key features in more details in subsequent slides. Now, the first is for UPS that is in operation, the noise level is quite high, okay? And even more so when there is an electronic load where there's switching involved. So this makes the measurements unstable in that sense. So you're going to get high and low readings that is not repeatable in that sense. Now, to solve this, the BT3554 incorporates two solutions. One of it is using filters. So here we will show you an example of measurement without noise reduction. So you can see that the data here is quite dispersed and low repeatability. Now, when you incorporate noise reduction technology, okay, there is high repeatability in the measurement results, like so. The second solution is noise frequency avoidance function. If noise still affects the stability of the results, that means you're still not getting that repeatable results, you can activate noise frequency avoidance function by following these steps. First, you turn off the instrument, then you press the ohm symbol along with the power button. Okay. Next, you should see a frequency symbol that is when it's activated. Okay, the instruments will automatically display the internal resistance value with reduced noise. Now, the next important feature is the comparator function. Now, this makes the battery diagnosis easy. So let me explain. It is based on three thresholds. We're going to have three states. We're going to have the pass, warning, okay, and then fail. So for the pass, it means that the battery is good. Warning, it means that you need to do maintenance and monitor the battery more often. And for fail, it means that the battery is not good and it must be replaced. So for resistance, we need the reference value taken from a new battery. So every time a new battery is installed, take the first measurement first and keep a record of it. Okay, so this value is usually very low. Okay, it's usually in the milliohm range. Now it's important to observe the trend. Okay, it's good practice to use this same type of battery for all your battery bank. Okay, don't use different brands, because if you use different brands of battery, then you cannot keep that trending record anymore, right? Because different battery will operate differently. Okay. Now, during the battery operation, the resistance value increases over time. It will be in good condition when showing a pass. That means the measured value is less than 1.5 times of the reference value. Okay. Now, it will show a warning when the measurement resistance is greater than or equal to 1.5 times the reference value. And when you will get a fail when the measured resistance is greater than or equal to 2 times the reference value. So that's the reason why the reference value is very important, because you need to set it into the battery tester in order for it to calculate for you whether it's a pass, warning, or fail. As for voltage, the limit for voltage setting for the warning condition is 90% of the nominal voltage of battery. So let's say if you measure the battery, you get 12 volt, right? Then you can input 90%. Anything that goes below that, then it will be a warning condition. So another important feature is the fast measurement time of our battery tester, the BT3554. It's able to measure resistance and voltage measurement and stores the value in the memory within 2 seconds. So that's very, very fast, within 2 seconds. All right. Now the process to perform the measurements are press the tips onto the electrode like so, okay, like this. So once the measurement stabilize, the value is retained and automatically saved in the memory. Then after that, you can repeat again for the next battery, like that. So imagine if you have 30 batteries. So every measurement can be taken within 2 seconds. That's quite a fast and very productive for you when you do your battery maintenance routine. Now, the analysis software also incorporates important features to help you make comprehensive reports without spending much time on other administrative stuff. Now, we have NHēt 1, which is included in the analysis software. Now, the NHēt 1 will allow you to do BT3554 data management settings using USB. Now, you'll be able to analyze graph with the result of the measurement for voltage, resistance, temperature, and conditions for pass, warning, and fail. Okay, this will allow you to view the individual battery trend to estimate the maintenance date. So let's say you do it first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, you can monitor the battery trend, or even monthly, okay, based on just one battery. So overall, it's able to provide you with a complete report which is easy to understand and most importantly, save you time. Now, the Bluetooth version battery tester also gives you the ability to make report using a smartphone or tablet. Okay, and then you can use the NHēt Cross, which is complimentary. You can download from the Google Apps or Play Store. So for these apps, later my colleague Marvin will explain more on the functionality of these apps for NHēt Cross. Okay, so now I'll talk about the industrial practice. Now these are the standards to follow with regards to the different types of battery. So for nickel cadmium, you can follow the IEEE standards 1106. For lead acid battery, you can follow the standards 1188. This is for valve regulated lead acid. And then you can follow the standards 405 for vented lead acid type. Now the maintenance routine is just for reference and depending on each company's policy, but it will be good to carry out the IR testings for new battery and subsequently quarterly or yearly, depending on the status of the battery. Now, in these standards, there are other types of testing, such as flood charge current, capacity testings, but IR testing is applicable for the BT3554. So that's all I have for my presentation. I shall now hand over to Marvin for the demo, and then after the demo is completed, we will move on to Q&A. So over to you, Marvin.
Thanks, Eugene. I'll now bring Marvin online. Okay, please give me a moment. Okay. All right, Marvin is here with me. Wow, Marvin is all ready to do his presentation. Okay, we have Marvin, and I'm going to bring Marvin's screen on the live demo as well. Okay. All right, so looks like...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can everybody hear Marvin over here? Marvin, can you say something?
Hi everyone. This is Marvin from HIOKI Singapore. I'm the product marketing engineer here in HIOKI Singapore. And today I would like to do the demonstration of the BT3554. Can you guys hear me? If can, just give me a comment or just give me a thumbs up. Can hear?
If you can hear Marvin, I think my young engineer over here needs some support. If you can hear him, please give him some comments, some thumbs up, some response if it's possible. All right. Okay, looks like our guests are pretty shy, but I think I can hear you. So Marvin,
Sure.
yeah, I think my colleague, my some of the fans, my colleague, they are saying that they can hear you. So it's good. All right, so Marvin, over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Kevin. And thanks for the Eugene, very wonderful presentations. And right now, I would like to introduce to you guys this BT3554. Okay, so as you guys can see, right, this is the BT3554-11. How to judge whether is it -11? Because it comes with the L probe, the L2020 probe. And also, not only for that, this BT3554-11 will be have the built-in Bluetooth functions. And when you purchase this BT3554-11, right, it comes with this carrying case as well. And in what will be having inside, right? Let me just open up and then show to you. This is the items that you will get, like for example, this zero adjust board and the instruction manual, and also the PC, CD, everything is inside. Yeah, and also you do have a field, the spare fields over here, and we will come together with for you is the 8 pieces of the AA battery to power up this BT3554. Okay, so right now I would like to over here, right, what I have, Kevin, can you have another angle for the demonstrations? Okay, you can make my screen smaller. Okay, sure. Thanks, Kevin. So over here, right, what I have here is the 2 type of the lead acid battery. And as you can see over here, this is one of the type of the lead acid battery. And usually for this kind of the lead acid battery, right, they will have some basic specifications written at the side. Okay, so I will right now I'm going to do the live demo for you, and here I will turn on the BT3554. So as you can see over here, I also can turn on the backlight or close the backlight. Okay, and then I will move another camera. Just give me a minute. Okay. So right now I already turned on the BT3554, right? So I would like to have Kevin to bring out my another screen that to show it to you how to do the connection for the jet across. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so over here I do have the tablet. Okay, for this tablet, right, what I have already pre-installed is this freeway jet across. So when you press the jet across, you will show like this. Okay, yeah, maybe okay, thank you. And then over here, you can press, this is the BT3554. So from here, you BT3554 series, after you press in, then you can see the signal. This is the signal sign. Can you see? Can see, right? Okay, so once you have the signal sign, meaning to say it's ready for connections. Okay, so once you press in, it will be showing you your BT3554 serial number, and then you can press the start button. So before you press the start button, why you need to press the start button? Press the start button over here, right, is to import the previous record data like this. Okay, so that it will synchronize together with your BT3554, so that you you not like erase the previous recorded data as well. Okay, so over here, what you can do also, you can do the naming of the title, comment for this unit. Okay, so this is okay. Nevertheless, let me start for the testing. Okay, so just now, Eugene have also shared with you one of the UPS, right? It's a 2-second measurement. do the test. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I just complete 3 battery measurements within a few seconds. As you can see, this is the result I have already. So how to see the result? Actually, you can press at the record button, and then you can see the result and the chart over here. And also you can see the threshold. Like for example, over here, what is the threshold? And then this is the setting that just now I have already set. And you can press any particular recorder data, and then you will see the internal resistance display over here. This is how convenience you can have. Okay. You not only can see the resistance, you can choose for the voltage as well. Okay. Okay. So this is how convenient when you are using this Gen Cross. Not only for that, when you press the stop button, all the data will be saved, and then you can just do the export by checking it, and then you just create a report. And then after that, you can do the format. For example, what is the cover format? Like the title, like testing or the demo. And then what is the subtitle? Everything. After finish, then you can do the press the OK. Okay, then you will see this is the save report. Okay, all the data will be saved inside. Like this. Okay, so not only for this, right, you also actually can insert the picture. Oh, sorry. Okay, so like for example, you press stop button, then from here, right, you can press add others, then you take a photo, then you can go for, like for example, the locations. You just take a, sorry, let me take a photo. Okay, then you can go back. Here, this is the photo that you have taken. Like for example, I check on these two, and then I do the exporting. Okay. Like over here, you can see there is the photo, same data, and there is a graph for the temperature, comments. This is the photo. Okay, that's it for my side. Hope you guys enjoy these sessions, and I would like to pass back to Kevin to continue.
All right, thanks, Marvin. That was a very clear and very good explanation on how you can use BT3554 HIOKI battery tester with Gen Cross. Now, Gen Cross has a lot of useful function that you can tap on, and it will really help many of our engineers who's actually requires the data information for report basis. I think Marvin has shown very clearly earlier how you can actually do that. So ladies and gentlemen, with this, we will be picking up some questions right now. So if you have any questions, feel free to send in to the comment section. We will be very happy to take up your questions over here. With regards to Eugene's presentation or whether with regards to Marvin's demonstration, we'll be very keen to help you on that. So please bring in your questions. We are all ready. All right. While we are waiting for the questions, probably just to explain to you that GNet Cross is a very, very useful function from HIOKI. I think if you are still not aware, HIOKI GNet Cross is a complementary software that allows our end users to connect easily to the phones and tablets. Not just BT3554, we have a lot of other useful field measuring instruments from clamp meters, insulation testers, which you can actually connect directly to GNet Cross. So feel free to browse our website, or actually you can actually download GNet Cross from this Apple Store, from Google. So all these are all available. Simply just search for GNet Cross and you will be able to download. All right. Maybe while we are waiting for inquiries coming in, Eugene, would you want to share with the audience, maybe again, the difference between GNet Cross and GNet One? Because I think customers who are not familiar, they might be lost. What's GNet Cross? What's GNet One? Is it the same thing? Probably you want to highlight to our audience here again.
Okay, the main difference between the GNet One and the GNet Cross is the GNet One can be used for the laptop under Windows environment. Okay, now how to connect the BT3554 to the laptop using GNet One? You have to use a USB connection. Okay, plug it to BT3554, on the other end, plug it to the laptop. And then from there, you can download all the information and do those kind of battery analysis management. Now for GNet Cross is mainly used for mobile phone apps, mobile phone and tablet. Okay, then you can install from the Play Store the GNet Cross, and then you can use the Bluetooth to connect to the BT254, the Bluetooth model, and then whatever measurements that you take will be transmitted to the mobile phone or to the tablet. Okay, this will help you increase your productivity. So there's no more any need to do any writing anymore. The moment you measure, the data will be transmitted to the mobile phone or the tablet. That saves a lot of time. Okay, so not only that, after you have done that, as what Marvin has showed you, you can generate reports, you can look at the graph to see which is passed, which is having a warning, and which is failed.
Right.
Acid battery. Yeah. Okay, so I also want to state a few things. Now, a lot of customers like to ask, can your BT3554 be used only for lead acid battery? Okay, can it be used for nickel cadmium? Can it be used for lithium ion batteries? Now, my answer to most of my customers is yes, you can use the battery tester BT3554 for all these types of batteries. But most importantly, you cannot judge. Okay, you can only judge for lead acid battery. Okay, but you cannot judge the degradation of nickel cadmium or lithium ion. Why? Why is that so? Now, because for nickel cadmium and lead acid battery, the degradation is very, very little over time. Very, very small changes. Okay? But for lead acid battery, the changes are quite significant. Okay? First year, second year, third year, then it starts to curve up. The internal resistance starts to increase like that. So it's very easy to judge using the BT3554. Right? But not for nickel cadmium or lead acid or lithium ion batteries. Okay, and then another thing most customers like to ask is that why does the fuse always blow so easily whenever I'm doing measurement? Okay, now the main reason is that when you do measurement, right, let's say you're doing on a battery bank. Now the battery bank, usually there is a metal enclosure. Now this metal enclosure is usually grounded to earth, right? So sometimes when customers are measuring, they plug in they touch on the positive terminal. Okay, then they are distracted suddenly. They look at something else. Then the other probe touch onto the metal enclosure. So when you do that, when the metal enclosure is touched on, the voltage will suddenly spike up. Okay, so the only way to save the battery tester is the fuse. When the fuse detects a very high voltage, it will just trip to save the BT3554 circuit. So that's the reason why that happens. So the only way of not letting the fuse blow is whenever you measure, okay, measure it touching the positive and negative terminal. So whenever you're not doing anything, don't suddenly touch the positive and touch the metal enclosure, right? Every time you must only touch terminal.
Well, which I think this is also a safety precaution of our product. I think HIOKI takes very serious concern into the safety of our end users. Thus, the fuse is also acting as a safety mechanism to actually protect our end users over here. Now, Eugene, since you have talked about since you have mentioned about the fuse blowing up, maybe you want to share, because we also take care of the repair and calibration center. Would you want to share with our end users how can they send in their battery testers if they actually have such problems?
Right. So for the first diagnosis, as a consumer, right? Whenever I do measurement, and suddenly I cannot see any resistance value, but I can see the voltage value for my BT3554. Okay, that's the first indication that the fuse has blown. That's the first indication. So you open up the battery tester from the back, okay, remove the blown fuse, or you can do a continuity check onto the fuse first, okay, make sure that it's blown. Now, if it's found to be blown, next, take the new fuse that is already provided inside the battery tester, take the new fuse, insert it into the fuse compartment, and then turn it back on again. And then you try to test again. Now, if the resistance value appears and the voltage appears, everything is fine. Then you don't have to send it for repair. That is the first diagnosis. Now, what happens if you put in a new fuse and the impedance measurement or the resistance measurement cannot be seen? Okay, then that is a case where the transient voltage has gone into the circuit board. That means the fuse is not able to save the circuit board. So in that sense, the whole equipment have to be sent for repair. So just have to contact your distributor. The distributor will arrange for the equipment to be brought into Singapore for the repair. So we have a repair center in Singapore. We can do the repair. Okay, the lead time is faster than when you send it to Japan. So that's the reason why we have a service center in Singapore, because we want to serve all the customers in our region, in our territory, in ASEAN.
And not just only Southeast Asia, we also, HIOKI, just to share with our end users here, HIOKI Singapore also takes care of Bangladesh and also Oceania markets. So if there's any inquiries from these regions, feel free to write in to us. We are very happy to assist from here. And in view of the COVID-19 situation, many of us actually bounded in our own country and we are not allowed, we are not able to fly, but not to worry. We have engineers and experts over in HIOKI Singapore office who are all ready to do a live demo or live session with you to go through the product, troubleshoot with all of you here. So we are all ready. So feel free to write into us. All right, thank you, Eugene, for sharing. I don't see any questions coming in. Anyhow, also want to share with our end users here. In fact, HIOKI BT3554 is one of our best sellers within the region. I probably think that our end users who are online with us here, they are pretty aware of how to use BT3554, battery testers BT3554. Unlike other products like power quality analyzers, power loggers, where the interface might be slightly more, requires more technical training, and also requires maybe on the graph analysis, they might need more support. So I probably think that for battery testers BT3554, more of the users here are coming online to see if there's any additional knowledge to be learned. So yeah, probably that's why the questions are not coming in. But not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, you can still send in your questions to us on our HIOKI Singapore Facebook page. This video will be going, will be uploaded later. So if you see any comments, we'll take it offline and we will reply to you after this. All right, so I probably think I probably will be sharing just the BT3554 link over here. I'm not too sure whether the customers will be able to get the link. Yes, okay. So right now the HIOKI BT3554 testers link is up on our comment page. So if you want to know more about HIOKI BT3554, there's different versions. So the one that I'm sharing right now is BT3554-11. It comes with the Bluetooth comes with the Bluetooth function. It also comes with the L2020 probe. Now, what is this L2020 probe? It's actually an L-shaped probe that allows our end users to use and measure the parameters easily. You know, many times the battery testers are located right at, the batteries are actually located right at the back, and it's very hard for our end users to actually put in their probes to do their measurements. So I think my colleague just brought in the L2020. Let me show you. Yes, okay. So this is the L2020 probe, which is an L-shaped format, which is easier for you to put in the test probes to measure the parameters. All right, so BT3554-11 comes with the L2020L probe and also the Bluetooth function. We also have other models that are non-Bluetooth, and also that doesn't comes with the L2020 probe. It comes with just a normal probe for you to do testing. So you might want to consider which one is more suitable for you. And also, probably you might have a budget that you might want to consider. So we have 4 different models. You might want to go online to take a look. So whatever that I'm sharing right now on the comment section, BT3554-11 is probably a more complete version of HIOKI battery tester. All right. So so bear in mind before I end this session with Eugene, bear in mind that HIOKI BT3554 really comes in very handy together pairing with our GNet Cross software. Pairing with GNet Cross software will allow you to do report easily, and there are other models that are compatible with GNet Cross as well. And it's complimentary, it's free. So tap on this good feature from HIOKI, and if there's any questions, feel free to write into us. All right, so that's it. If there's no questions from the floor, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's session on maintenance testing of lead-acid batteries using HIOKI battery testers BT3554. Once again, in 2020, we are celebrating 35 years of history of our battery testers business, and we are very happy to be able to share with you some of our knowledge on our battery testers. So if you want to know more about our other battery testers, feel free to write into us. You can write into marketing@hioki.com.sg, marketing@hioki.com.sg, or you can come to our Facebook page or our website, www.hioki.com.sg. We will be very happy to answer all your inquiries. All right, so with that, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you very much. My name is Kevin, and this is Eugene. Okay, and I also have Marvin, who is probably somewhere in office right now. So thank you very much for joining us this session. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe and take care. We'll see you next month. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.